Hey, Dan here, and in this video you're going to learn some success tips for making the most of your life as an INFJ. This is someone with the INFJ personality type of the whole Myers-Briggs things. Now, if this is the first video of mine that you're tuning into, you're probably wondering who the hell is this guy and what does he have to say? So, my experience with INFJs comes from a couple areas. First, I've coached numerous INFJs for years, and I've also been close friends with a couple of very successful INFJ people. Myself, I'm actually an ENFP. We tend to get along pretty well. And I've also written a book that came out a couple of years ago on the INFJ personality. And actually, some of the advice I'm sharing today is coming from reader submissions. So in the book, there's a chance if you're an INFJ and you want to share your own insights, your own wisdom on life, then you can write into me and I share those. So some of the insights here are coming from the readers, so thank you guys for contributing those. So one of the most important things is you need to have a why with whatever you're doing. INFJs can be really determined and become really successful, and I'm going to get more to that determination in a minute. But if you don't have a why, like a real reason for what you're doing, it's going to be a struggle for you. And this isn't true for every type. But as an NF type, it's really important for you to know why you're doing something, right? And that's going to not only give you the motivation to pull through it, but it's also just going to make you feel better about yourself, feel much more focused in what you're doing. This is one reason that INFJs hate to work for idiots who are giving them stupid orders, hate working in a bureaucracy where they have to follow rules that don't make any sense, because there's no why. So when you have your why, your actual reason behind your work, it allows you to be a lot more focused, a lot more motivated, you're happy. If you don't have that why, like you're working for some morons, you can check out my other video on careers and jobs for INFJs and just read in the comments. And when an INFJ is working for someone who is a moron or doesn't have a real reason behind their work, it is not a happy experience at all. So as I said, INFJs can be very focused and determined. But in order to use this, you need to give yourself goals, right? You can be very focused and determined, but if you don't know where to point yourself, that doesn't work out very well, right? Now, they don't necessarily have to be like SMART goals or laid out extensively, but if you don't have a direction to focus all that energy you have, it's going to be frustrating. You might find yourself taking out your energy on friends or family, or just getting really angry at people for no reason, because you have this drive, you have this emotional energy that you need to put somewhere. So setting a goal, being determined is going to be really important in terms of just, well, achieving your goals, obviously, but also having more actual happiness and satisfaction in your life. Now, that same ability to be focused and determined also can have a downside. And this bit of advice actually is one of the ones that came from a reader of my book. And he shared that you want to make sure that you take the time to see other people's perspectives, because that same determination, that J function that makes you be able to focus really well, it also tends to shut out other perspectives and form mental blocks to what other people are saying. So you might, have a different opinion. Like, we all like to think we're right, and some of us are more right than others, more often than not, but that doesn't mean you're always going to be right. And so making a special effort to actually take the time to develop empathy and think, okay, I disagree with this person. I may or may not think they're an idiot, but why do I disagree? What's going on with them? And take time to think, why might this person think this other thing? And sometimes you won't change your opinion. Probably most of the time you won't, but you'll gain a better understanding of the other person and maybe an appreciation for them. Other times you might actually gain a new perspective and realize you were wrong. That happens to all of us, right? And so keeping that open mind is going to be really beneficial. Not open in terms of, well, maybe the earth isn't round and becoming a flat earther or going off the deep end that way, but just keeping an open enough mind to actually consider other perspectives and give other people a chance to, understand where they're coming from and realize that, okay, 90%, maybe 95% of the time you're going to be right, but sometimes you're not. So keeping that open mind to understand other perspectives, and at the very least, it's going to give you an understanding of other people that can help you in life and business. If you're in a relationship with someone, you might disagree with them on a lot of things, but if you can't see their perspective, that relationship's going to get really rocky really quickly. Now, very important is to trust in yourself, to give yourself permission to be you and follow your own path. In many circumstances, in many social groups, you might be the odd one out, where you have certain opinions, certain dreams, certain beliefs that are different than most people. This is because the NF types, like INFJ, is a rarity. Most people are not the same personality type as you, right? And they tend to have different goals. They might be a lot more into sports or materialistic things than you are. And that might make you feel like you're an outsider and lead to this impulse of trying to fit in. Resist that impulse. Don't try to change how you are, because your internal intuition is really strong, and that's going to help you be aware of yourself and what you need and give you pretty clear direction. And you want to trust that. When you go against that intuition, more times than not, from my own experiences, but also what my readers have told me, is you're going to end up regretting that a lot. So trust your intuition and be true to yourself there. So your intuition is your strongest function, right? And that's your ability to process data. That's how you're basically going to understand people and understand things. So you want to give that a lot of room to basically help you make decisions, because it's going to be your strongest function. But you don't want to go so overboard. Remember the advice before about keeping somewhat of an open mind, or at least understanding other people's perspectives? Keep that in mind here as well. Part of how we build intuition is testing it, right? No 5-year-old has perfect intuition where they just know they're right all the time and they're always right. Well, maybe the odd genius kid, but generally, right, we get our intuition from experiences, from trying things, from failing. So you can build that intuition more and more by being open to other people's perspectives, by trying something a bit different. And maybe 9 times out of 10, you try something different, or you listen to someone's advice and it sucks, and then you think, all right, back to the intuition. But then at least you've reinforced that intuition. You've added another experience which has strengthened it. So again, give yourself the chance to be true to yourself and to follow your intuition, but also keep open the possibility to build that intuition more by giving other perspectives a chance and trying other things from time to time. So this next bit of advice I actually wanted to read directly because I found it really insightful here. So learn to completely listen to what the other person is saying. Your intuition will 99% of the time tell you exactly what they mean or intend to say before they have finished the second sentence. But more often than not, the other person really values somebody who has intently listened to all their words over someone who dispenses advice before they have finished talking. So many people feel judged or dismissed when you cut them off without allowing them to finish. Even if you genuinely get what they are saying, listening to them intently until they have finished their story will give your advice and wisdom more credit. Again, this is coming from one of my readers. I'm not some ass here reading from my own book. This is some advice a reader submitted. And then I share it in a section on advice from other readers. And there's one more perspective I want to share here. In the past, I have often thought of the goals that I wanted to reach and the sense of victory that would come upon them. But victory isn't something that just happens. It is constructed. The victory that I desire is shaped with each decision I make now. When I choose to sit down and write and work on a song, it is a little victory building towards my larger goal. When I make dinner for my girlfriend and we talk about our days and I listen to her, it is a little victory building towards my goal of having a deeper and stronger relationship with her. So I make decisions with my goals in mind and I act on them now, and in these moments I am constructing my own personal victories as I reach for whatever goals I set. This is how I live. Again, you can take it or leave it. I just thought I would share. I love that piece of advice. I think that holds true for almost everyone, not just INFJs, but it's important to pull ourselves back. So have that larger vision, that victory that you're constructing, as he says, but also at the same time, use that to make your day-to-day decisions. What decision today will get you closer to that goal you want to reach tomorrow? Okay, I have one more piece I just need to read. Again, these are submissions from other INFJs, and there's some real wisdom here. I should add, one of the INFJ's strengths is being very insightful and having a lot of great wisdom and advice. So here's the last piece here. Be kind to yourself. You will be your own worst critic. So learning to treat yourself as you would a good friend will reduce the stress in your life. This couldn't be more true for my work with INFJs as well. Don't be in a rush to meet some preconceived milestone. You dance to a different beat, so you won't be in step with your peer group. Asking for help is not weak. It's a sign that you should know your limits and want help before you break. Trust your intuition about the ones you love. Words don't mean squat. Actions tell you whether that person can be trusted with your love and your life. On that note, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I may make a follow-up with even more advice and insights into INFJs. One way to do that is to share some of your own insights and advice in the comments below, and I may share them in a future video. If you've enjoyed this and you're looking for more advice, more videos from me on things like psychology, personal development, and entrepreneurship, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I publish new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Catch you in another one soon. Ciao.